Everyone, especially to you, Ma'am Marian Reyes. So we are the group 14, and our topic is all about the traditional and authentic assessment in social studies. So I am the discussant, Reynald Sariano, together with Kia Joy Halampong and Brittany Hilioano. Let's start our discussion. So here are our lesson objectives. So first, explain the differences between traditional and authentic assessment. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of assessment method. And the last one is provide examples of traditional and authentic assessment in social studies. So now I will give the virtual floor to Miss Brittany Helioano to present to us the definition and the differences between authentic and traditional assessment in social studies.
Good day, everyone. I'm Brittany Hiliano from Social Studies 2, and today I'm going to discuss to you the traditional and authentic assessment in social studies. Traditional assessments refers to conventional methods of testing, usually standardized and use pen and paper with multiple choice, true or false or matching type test items. So in social studies, traditional assessments are assessments that focus on measuring students' knowledge and understanding of facts, concepts, and historical events. So, these assessments typically involve standardized tests, quizzes, and exams that ask students to recall information and demonstrate their understanding of key concepts. So, for examples of traditional assessments in social studies might include multiple choice test that asks students to select the correct answer from a list of options. Next, we have a short answer questions that ask students to provide brief responses to questions about historical events or social issues. And we have essay questions that ask students to analyze and interpret primary and secondary sources or to explain the causes and effects of historical events. These assessments are designed to be relevant and meaningful to students, and they often involve tasks that simulate or mirror the kinds of activities that people engage in outside of school. Examples of authentic assessments in social studies might include research papers or projects that require students to investigate a social issue or historical event and present their findings in a meaningful way. Debates or simulation that asks students to take on the roles of historical figures or contemporary actors and argue for or against particular policies or ideas. Service learning projects that allow students to apply their knowledge and skills to real-world problems and make a positive impact in their communities. Portfolios that allow students to showcase a range of their work and reflect on their learning over time. Authentic assessments in social studies are often more engaging and motivating for students than traditional assessments, as they provide opportunities for students to apply their learning in meaningful and relevant ways. They also help to develop students' critical thinking, problem solving, and communication skills, which are essential for success in the 21st century.
Hey everyone, I am Kia Joy M. Alampong, and this is the continuation of our report. So, what are the purpose of traditional and authentic assessment? First, we have the traditional assessment. So, the purpose of traditional assessment is to evaluate if the students have learned the content, to determine whether or not the students are successful in acquiring knowledge, to ascribe a grade for them, to rank and compare them against the standards of other learners. It also provides teachers a snapshot of what the students know, to measure students' knowledge of the content and require students to demonstrate the knowledge by selecting a response or giving correct answers. It usually tests students' proficiency through paper or pencil tests. And of course, to test and strengthen the students' ability to recall or recognize and comprehend content, but does not reveal the student's progress of what they can do with the knowledge that they acquired. The second one is the authentic assessment. So the purpose of authentic assessment is to measure students' proficiency by asking them to perform real-life tasks, to provide students many avenues to learn and demonstrate best what they have learned, and of course to guide instructions, to provide feedback and help students manage their own learning, to also evaluate students' competency.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. So this is just the continuation of the report of Miss Brittany Heliano, and she discussed about definition of authentic and traditional assessment in social studies, and she gave some examples. And Miss Kia Joy Hulampong discussed about the purpose of authentic and traditional assessment in social studies. And today I will be going to discuss the different types of traditional and authentic assessment in social studies. So, types of traditional assessment. So, traditional assessment may be form of multiple choice, true or false, short answer, and essay, or and etc. So, advantages of traditional assessment. So, easy to grade, as well as objective and standardized. And the disadvantage of traditional assessment is limited scope and emphasis on memorization, not may measure critical thinking skills. So, in traditional assessment, dito makikita yung kakayahan ng estudyante na mag-memorize ng mga definitions kasi yun ang kadalasang ginagamit sa dito sa traditional. Kasi kung makikita nyo, nandoon yung multiple choice, true or false, and yung mga short answer na makukuha natin sa mga definition about sa topic na yon. And the next one is the type of authentic assessment. So, it may be form of performance tasks, portfolios, projects, and etc. So, advantages of authentic assessment, so measures real-world skills, promote critical thinking, promote creativity. Disadvantage of authentic assessment is time-consuming, subjective, difficult to standardize. So, dito naman sa authentic assessment, so dito naman pinapagana yung or it promotes critical thinking of the child or the student. Kasi dito talaga ma-measure kung gaano siya kagaling, ka-creative in making such things to make his or her project. Yun nga lang, the disadvantage naman ng authentic assessment is very time consuming. Siguro hindi natin siya makakaya ng 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. Kinakailangan talaga ng mahabang panahon para dito sa authentic assessment. Though maganda siya and very applicable siya, kasi magagamit talaga natin to in our daily basis, pero yun nga lang, yung sinabi ko na nga na very time consuming. So, and next one, so this is already discussed by Miss Hiliano. So, these are those examples. So, I will read it. Examples of traditional assessment. So, it's a form of multiple choice. So, questions about historical events or figures, true or false, short answer, essay. And the example of authentic assessment is the research, projects, or specific historical event or cultural practice, debates or discussion about current social issues, role-playing about activities to stimulate political or economic decisions making, portfolio assessments that include essay, artwork, and other forms of expression. So now, I have a question for you guys. So what do you think is the importance of using a variety of assessment methods in social studies? So this is just a form of your assessment and to measure if you have learned about our topic. So you can write down your answers in your papers and you can submit it to me during our meeting. So all in all, an overall idea of using both traditional and authentic assessment in social studies is to provide a more comprehensive and holistic approach assessing students' learning. Traditional assessment, such as multiple choice or essay question, can provide a standardized and objective measures of student knowledge and understanding of the subject matter. On the other hand, authentic assessments such as performance tasks or project-based assessment can provide a more realistic and practical measure of students about to apply their knowledge and skill in a real-world setting. So by using a combination of both traditional and authentic assessment, social studies teachers can gain a more complete pictures of their students' learning and mastery of the subject matter. Traditional assessment can help identify areas where students may be struggling or need additional support, while authentic assessment can provide opportunities for students to apply their knowledge and skill to real-world scenarios and develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. So, ultimately, the goal of using both traditional and authentic assessment in social studies is to ensure that the students are not only knowledgeable about the subject matter, but also have skills and abilities to apply that knowledge in meaningful ways. This approach can help prepare students for the challenges and opportunities they will face in the real world beyond the classroom. So that's all from my report, and I hope you gain a lot of idea and knowledge about our report. So good morning and thank you for listening.